Listen to what I'm about to tell you. Human beings develop the ability to think, analyze, anticipate, and rationalize for one primary reason: survival. Your mind is an extraordinary machine. It is sophisticated, it is strategic, it is brilliant. But there is something that nobody has ever told you. The mind is an expert at keeping you alive, but it knows nothing about how to make you happy. Its job is not to give you peace. It is not to give you love. It is not to give you purpose. Its job is one and only to keep you breathing. And it does that incredibly well. From the moment you wake up, your mind is scanning your environment, scanning your relationships, scanning your future. It looks for threats everywhere. It's not just the physical threats. It looks for rejection, for failure. It looks for loss. It looks for humiliation. It looks for abandonment. Because to the mind, all of that equals danger. Your mind does not distinguish between a tiger in the jungle and a negative comment on social media. To it, everything can be a potential threat to your social, emotional, or physical survival. And that is why it thinks so much. That is why it overanalyzes. That is why it creates scenarios, why it replays conversations from the past, why it imagines arguments that have not even happened yet and may never happen. It is trying to protect you. And there is something important here. There is nothing wrong with your mind. The problem is not that you think too much. The problem is that you believe everything you think. Your mind reviews the past to predict the future. If you have failed before, it warns you that you might fail again. If you were rejected before, it warns you that it could happen again. If you suffered before, it tries to prevent that pain from returning to you. And that is not self-sabotage, that is survival. But this is where the inner conflict begins. Because while your mind wants safety, there is something inside you that wants expansion. While your mind wants control, there is something inside you that wants freedom. While your mind wants certainty, there is something inside you that wants adventure. And that tension, it really creates anxiety. All internal struggle is born from an innocent misunderstanding. We expect our mind to make us feel good all the time, but it was never designed for that. It was designed to detect problems. It's like, imagine a security guard and then getting angry, hiring a security guard and then getting angry because he is suspicious of everyone. That is what we do with our mind. We get frustrated because it never stops, because it always finds something that we could go wrong. Uh, but it is doing exactly what it was programmed to do. The problem is that we no longer live in the wild. We do not live in an environment where a sound in the bushes means immediate death, and yet our nervous system still reacts as we do, as if we did. An unanswered email becomes a threat, a short message becomes rejection, an uncertain opportunity becomes danger. And so we live in a constant state of alert, fight or flight. You have heard that before. Anxiety, stress, frustration, anger, resentment, guilt, all of this come to you rushing out of no significant danger. Not because the word is dangerous, but because we're listening only to the part of us that was designed to survive. But there is another part, a quieter part, a part that does not scream, a part that does not analyze, a part that simply knows. That part is your awareness. Your awareness is not worried about fitting in, it is not worried about being criticized, it is not worried about controlling everything. Your awareness wants just the experience, it wants growth, it wants connection, it wants loved. Uh, and then there is something even deeper than that, the inner sense that you are here for more. That subtle calling that appears when everything in your life looks fine, but something still feels like missing. That does not come from the mind. The mind wants comfort. The soul wants meaning. The mind wants routine. The soul wants purpose. And when we ignore that deeper dimension, we feel emptiness. Many people try to fill that emptiness with achievement. Maybe you have as well. What type of achievement? More money, more validation, more recognition. But the mind is never satisfied because there will always be another risk to avoid. another problem to solve, another threat to anticipate. So, what do? We do not destroy the mind. We do not try to stop thinking. That's impossible. We stop believing that we are only our thoughts. When you begin to observe your mind instead of identifying with it, something changes inside you. You realize that the thought "I am not enough" is just a thought, not a sentence. You realize fear is a projection, not an immediate reality. You realize you can feel anxiety without turning it into your identity. This is the moment when you move from surviving to living. Because as long as you are fused with your mind, you will live in defense mode. But when you begin listening to something deeper, you begin to experience peace. Not because problems disappear, they will never disappear, but because you no longer interpret everything as a threat. Imagine what your life would feel like if you did not automatically react to every negative thought that comes to your mind. Imagine not needing to win every argument in your head. Imagine being able to make mistakes without destroying your identity. That is freedom. And freedom does not come from controlling every external circumstance. It comes from changing your relationship with your mind. For example, the mind says, "What if everything goes wrong?" Awareness responds, "We will see." The mind says, "You need to make sure of this." Awareness says, "Trust." Your mind says, "You could lose everything." Awareness says, "What is real cannot be lost." This is not a call to be naive, it is a call to balance. Your mind is a tool. But when that tool becomes the master, that's where suffering begins. The mind is excellent at solving technical problems, but it is terrible at giving you the inner peace that you're looking for. If you try to think your way into permanent calm, you will fail, because the mind only knows how to search for what is missing. It rarely sees what is already enough. This is why even successful people can feel really empty. Achievement does not silence the mind, it simply gives it new targets. So, how do we transcend it? First, you gotta recognize that not every thought deserves attention. Okay? Second, you have to create moments of silence, not external silence, internal silence. Moments where you're not trying to fix anything, moments where you are simply the observer. And something remarkable will begin to happen to you, and you will notice when you stop feeding every thought, many of them disappear on their own. You do not need to fight them. You do not need to defeat them. You simply stop believing them automatically. Gradually, when you do this, your nervous system begins to regulate. Anxiety will decrease, clarity will increase, and you begin living from a different place, not from reaction, but from intention. And this is where the greatest shift really happens. When you are no longer obsessed with surviving, you can begin creating. You can love without constant fear of losing. You can try without with that paralyzing fear of failure. You can express yourself without extreme fear of judgment. That is living. That is thriving. Your mind has brought you this far. It has protected you. It has helped you. But now, what you're going to do is you're going to thank it and let it rest. Okay? You do not need to be in permanent alert mode. Not everything is danger. Not everything is a threat. Not every thought is true. And when you deeply understand that, something softens inside you. You begin experiencing peace without external reason. You begin feeling joy without conditions. You begin acting from love instead of from fear. And that is the greatest transition a human being can experience, moving from survival to fulfillment. This is not about eliminating the mind, it is about going beyond it, using it when necessary, but not living enslaved by it. Your mind, it only wants you to survive, but your essence wants you to live. So the real question is, Will you continue listening only to the voice of fear? Or are you ready to discover what exists beyond your thoughts? Let me know if this video helped you. Please subscribe to the channel, please like it, please leave me a comment and share it with your friends, and see you on the next video.